Rain came down in silver sheets across downtown Chicago, washing the city in cold light. Inside a cramped auto shop on 14th Street, 34-year-old mechanic Ryan Cole wiped grease off his hands and stared at the flashing ambulance that had just rolled to a stop. "We're off duty, pal," his supervisor barked from the office window. "They don't pay for emergency work." But Ryan saw the panic in the paramedic's eyes. The siren had died, the engine smoked, and someone in the back was fighting for their life. Rules or not, he grabbed his tools. He worked fast, ignoring the thunder. "Starters fried, batteries shorted," he muttered, reaching into the hood. The rain soaked his shirt, but his hands moved with precision. "You can't touch that, Cole," the boss yelled, but Ryan didn't stop. Within minutes, he'd rerouted the wiring with an old copper strip and a spare relay. "Try it now," he shouted. The ambulance roared to life. The paramedics gave a quick nod of gratitude before speeding into the storm. Ryan stood there catching his breath as the flashing red lights disappeared into the distance. His boss stormed out, face twisted with rage. "You don't touch city property without authorization," he barked. "You just cost this shop a fine." Ryan wiped his hands again and said quietly, "Maybe I just saved a life." It didn't matter. The pink slip came an hour later, fired for insubordination. Ryan packed his small toolbox, the only thing he owned that wasn't broken, and walked out into the rain. The next morning, he sat at a diner with a lukewarm coffee, staring at the help wanted ads. His phone buzzed and an unknown number. He almost didn't answer. "Mr. Cole?" a woman's voice asked. "You're the mechanic from last night?" Ryan frowned. "Yeah, why?" The woman paused. "That ambulance you repaired? It carried someone very important to me. I'd like to meet you." She gave an address in the financial district, the kind of place men like Ryan never had reason to visit. When he arrived, he felt out of place. Marble floors, glass elevators, people in tailored suits. At the top floor, a receptionist led him into an office overlooking Lake Michigan. There, standing by the window, was Evelyn Harper, one of Chicago's youngest billionaires, CEO of a massive medical tech company. Ryan froze. She turned, her eyes warm but sharp. "You don't know me," she said, "but last night you saved my mother's life." Ryan blinked, unsure what to say. Evelyn continued, "The ambulance carrying her broke down in the storm. The paramedics told me someone, a mechanic, fixed it in the rain while everyone else stood by. That was you, wasn't it?" He nodded awkwardly. "Just doing what needed to be done." Evelyn smiled faintly. "And your boss fired you for that?" He shrugged. "I broke protocol." She stepped closer. "No, you broke expectations." She handed him an envelope. Inside was a check large enough to buy a new shop outright. "I don't want charity," Ryan said quickly, sliding it back. Evelyn laughed softly. "It's not charity. It's investment. I'm starting a new initiative, emergency response mechanics. People like you, ready to fix what can't wait." Ryan looked at her, stunned. "You're serious?" She nodded. "Very. You proved what heart looks like under pressure." Later that week, Ryan found himself standing in a brand new garage, spotless and bright, with Evelyn touring the floor beside him. "You'll run this," she said. "Train others to think like you. Fast, compassionate, fearless." For the first time in years, Ryan felt a purpose deeper than a paycheck. He wasn't just fixing engines anymore. He was keeping the heartbeat of the city alive. Months passed. News outlets picked up the story of the mechanic who saved a billionaire's mother. Reporters crowded the shop, cameras flashing, and Ryan just smiled shyly, deflecting praise. Evelyn often stopped by unannounced, sometimes just to talk. Despite their different worlds, there was mutual respect, the kind built not on wealth, but on gratitude. One evening, as the sun sank behind the skyline, Ryan stood in front of the ambulance he'd repaired that night, now restored and donated to a community clinic. He traced the faint scar on its bumper, the mark left by the night that changed everything. Evelyn approached quietly. "You know," she said, "I've hired engineers from MIT who couldn't have done what you did in 10 minutes. Ryan chuckled. "Guess I had the right motivation." Evelyn tilted her head. "What was that?" He looked at the city lights reflecting in her eyes. "I just didn't want someone's mother to die on my watch," she smiled. That's what makes you different, Ryan. You don't fix machines. You fix moments. As the night deepened and the shop lights glowed warm against the darkness, Ryan realized something profound. Being fired had been the best thing that ever happened to him. It led him to a new kind of work, one that didn't just change engines, but lives. And somewhere deep inside, he knew this was only the beginning, because sometimes heroes don't wear badges or suits. Sometimes they wear oil-stained shirts and change the world one wrench turn at a time.